my good friend that I met last year in Brighton. And surprise, surprise, we are both going back to Brighton. So if you want to see us live and listen to our amazing speeches, come to Brighton this October. Welcome, Tereza. Nice to see you again.
Hi,
How are
Ivana.
you?
Really great to be here. I'm doing well.
And we are going to be talking about LinkedIn and how to optimize it, which SEO principles apply, how to grow it, how to use it, how to abuse it. With marketeers, we do that. So, what is it about LinkedIn that fascinated you enough to study it enough to speak about it to us and actually Brighton?
Yes, of course. So I've been working in marketing and social media for 11 years now.
Oh,
Obviously, I've
wow.
tried all the different channels. And I've noticed the last year or two, with Twitter, for example, being so unpredictable and quite weird as a channel, there was a gap in the sense of like where you spend more time and engage with others. So I just naturally started spending more time on LinkedIn, which felt like a great opportunity to have that professional hat on, engage with others, and also showcase your work like all in one place. And because it's so straightforward, that it's a very professional network, it doesn't feel as awkward sometimes to just promote your work. So it feels
It's
like a
true.
natural fit.
It's true. And I think this Twitter thing, when it came to became X, a lot of
Yeah.
people, you could see Alida Solis, for example, a little bit abandoning Twitter, even though she was
Yes, of
promoting it very,
course.
very much last Brighton. And now she's putting everything on LinkedIn maybe 20 times a day. There is an update from her. My feed is full of her. And she updates anything that she used to do on Twitter. And you can see her posts on LinkedIn are very Twitter-like. And she gained
Yes,
massive
exactly.
amount of followers. So what would be your tip for growing our followers? I think that's the thing we all like because Twitter gives you this, sorry, Twitter, LinkedIn give you this good feeling, people liking your post or getting new followers. I'm always
Yeah.
excited.
I
Sorry.
think it's probably just making sure that you are yourself. It's your authentic side that would really stand out. You can't just create posts. Maybe you'll get some likes if you pretend, you find a topic that is like controversial or like just getting likes for the sake of it. But the only way to make it sustainable in the long term is just to be able to share what you know best. Because people understand when you're like comfortable about a topic and you share your expertise, that idea of thought leadership. And then you can also think about your personal brand. What do you want to be known for? Some people might link their work with like a hobby or a volunteering or something that they do on the side. And you want to be known for like your whole personality. So it's just making sure, in order to get the likes, people need to understand that this is coming off authentically. And it's not like forced. You could post memes all day and get likes, but what do you get out of this? So you want to make sure everything you're posting makes sense to what you want to be known for.
Oh, very true. I absolutely hate when I try to follow a lot of marketeers and obviously
Yeah.
for my field, iGaming. But I hate when start to people start to post all these very personal things. I don't care for it. Is it a good thing to post personal? Like, I have decided to go on a social media cleanse and I survived 3 days. And I'm like, who
This
cares?
is what I've
Okay.
learned.
These are exactly when I've learned about myself. It's like, really, I don't care. This deep dive to your personality should be very private, but maybe I'm wrong. Or maybe it belongs to
I think it
other
has to be done
places.
the right way. Like, how sometimes there was like a joke a couple of months ago, someone got married and they shared a photo being like, oh, this is what I've learned about marketing from my marriage. Like, it needs to be done in a way that makes sense because people would make fun of this.
True.
But if there's something that does make sense and you can connect it more to your work in a way that doesn't make you cringe, then it could still have a place. But not just doing it for the sake of like, posting photos of my family or my dog, just for the sake of getting more likes.
True. As well, I hate when people reshare the same thing over and over. Top 20 SEOs you should follow, and it's always the same list, and they just copy someone without giving credit to this person. I think this is sort of rude and should be called out on. I just skip it, but because I don't want to be rude on that media. But should we? Should we say like, oh, sorry, you copied this from this person? Should we call that and give the
I feel like
credit
this
to
is
the
really
other person?
common. And as you said, it's
Yes.
annoying because people might see someone posting something which is interesting and then they literally copy paste. I've seen that a lot with like social media news. Like a few people are like determined to stay consistent and share updates. And then they say how like all of a sudden everyone copies this exactly the way it is, like word for word. Like this can get you some win in the short term, but it wouldn't get much in terms of growing your brand or like getting work out of this.
But wouldn't it be better just to reshare with your thoughts? I mean, that's what I do,
Exactly,
reshare because
exactly. Even a
somebody
couple of
already
sentences to make a
exactly.
difference.
I was just like, wow, and just reshare rather than copying. But I
Exactly.
guess Well, how is LinkedIn different to other big social media? Because you little bit compared it to Twitter, but what about the very popular ones like TikTok or Insta?
Mm.
I am not on either of these. I try them. I find them annoying, but it comes with age. LinkedIn, I don't find it annoying, but how is it different? And is there any learning, any correlation between them?
I think it's probably the first point what you mentioned. It starts with a platform that you feel more comfortable. Like TikTok is probably the most engaging channel right now, but I don't feel comfortable creating videos every single day. I prefer to create written content, which is good because LinkedIn is probably one of the few channels that written posts with no visuals can still work well. So I think the first point is making sure that you choose the platform that makes sense for you, that you feel more comfortable, and that it probably also makes sense for your audience because you might enjoy a channel and nobody's there from the ones you want to attract. But then I think what's also like unique about LinkedIn is it's a very professional platform. You can use it for hiring, finding a new job, or connecting with others in your industry. And it has 1 billion users, a professional database. You can use the search in a way that you can find the different like connections or a specific company that you want to speak to, or an online networking pretty much opportunity. How can you connect with people that you want to talk more to?
Very true. Now, there is this thing about buying followers on LinkedIn. I find it very cringy. I mean, if someone's going to follow me, great, but be from the area that I'm in,
Yes, of course.
marketing, SEO, iGaming. So if I post something, it's for you. So what is it with this buying followers? Is it something we should consider, should not consider? Could it backfire? Can LinkedIn block you for that?
So this always existed on all social channels. All of a sudden, someone creates an Instagram account. One day they had 100 followers, next day 10,000.
Oh, God.
It's easy sometimes to just notice it when you see the engagement. Like if someone has 10,000 followers and they get 5 likes, that probably means that the followers are not authentic. So there were cases in the past on different channels, like also for LinkedIn, of course, that you see the number of followers and you think that this is the credibility, that sometimes it still exists. If you see someone having 10,000 followers, you think that, oh, they're an expert. But if you spend more time, or if you have a partnership with them, or if you want to like start networking more and build that relationship, you might realize actually the number of followers doesn't equal to like the work or the influence or like what I would expect to get out of someone being a thought leader. So on one hand, it sometimes helps in a sense of like, boosting your credibility. But I wouldn't necessarily recommend that because, as you said, what if you get penalized? What if there are sometimes third-party tools for like automating comments that then you get like penalized? So sometimes it might help in the short term, but it's definitely not a good strategy for like genuine growth for you and your business.
Plus, do you really want to be followed with someone who has got no connection and is called
Yeah, of course.
12377 cat? It's. I always try to.
It's
block
just a
people.
number.
Yeah, but you don't know what's behind it. Like maybe someone is trying to steal your identity or get some info that they get only if they follow you or if they're in your
True.
closer group. So I don't think it's safe. But who knows? I mean, would you buy followers?
No,
Tereza?
definitely
I
not.
find it very cringy.
No, definitely not.
As well, becoming an influencer is a thing of this era. And I know it's very popular on LinkedIn. It's very popular on even YouTube, and you get all the endorsements and deals. Does that happen for LinkedIn? Because becoming a micro influencer, you need 10,000 followers to be recognized without buying them, people, without buying
Yeah. I think it's becoming a little bit of a thing.
So
It's
can
the
you
new
make
trend
deals
of,
on LinkedIn? Can you be like, wow, I'm a super good influencer. I have 10,001 follower. Follow me and now buy these socks? Or what kind of deals do you get on LinkedIn then?
I think
I
it's
cannot
interesting. It's
imagine.
obviously not as much as Instagram, the way you would have like influencers being paid like a lot of money, but it's something that is really growing, like the idea of a B2B influencer. So as you said, they're probably micro influencers, like 10,000 followers is amazing for LinkedIn. And it's more about working with brands in terms of partnerships. It could be like a sponsorship. Sometimes they share about a report, then they say it's like a sponsorship. And it's very early stages, but we see that more for, again, like working with brands, like how can you communicate your expertise in a way that also benefits the brand. So it's not necessarily in terms of like commercial, like, working with like an e-commerce company, like promote shoes, but it could be more on that thought leadership aspect. How can you communicate your work to help a brand too?
True. I find it helpful for hiring because I work in a company. I'm not self-employed. And every time we have an opening, which currently we have 8 openings, if anyone is interested in SEO, please come to my team. Just saying. we hire a lot because we're growing, and every time I post it there, I get lots of people asking about it. So I find it very, very good for that without even paying for the publishing a job.
Yeah, of
But
course, of course.
I just like it to share my thoughts on marketing or sharing, like, oh, this is going on in Google. And many times I use it just to remind myself, have a place where I find what I shared or what I wanted to learn later. And
Yeah,
that's how
yeah,
I
good
started
idea.
to grow my LinkedIn. But what I find lately really works is sharing jobs. Every time I share jobs, I get like 200 new followers. I'm like, oh, we have
Yeah,
this
yeah,
new
yeah,
job.
yeah.
If it's entry level job, that works perfectly, at least for my niche. Does it work across niches? Do you know?
Yeah, I think in general, when you post a job, again, because LinkedIn is a professional platform where many people are looking for a job or people are hiring. So it's the place you go first when you want to like a new opportunity that has to do with like hiring or accessing job opportunities. And I've heard that a lot. People who share a job that they are hiring for, that they get a lot of engagement. And some people were joking, maybe I should just create fake jobs just to get engagement, which we probably don't recommend to people.
Oh, no, I don't recommend share my jobs, please.
Yeah, yeah, the actual jobs, yeah. But there were people who were like faking job ads
That
just to get
exists.
engagement.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, of
I know
course.
in a very, very, very previous company, we tried to create jobs just to get links for it. And then we linked it to one of the affiliate websites, which I found very weird. But for a short period of time, it worked. So I think,
It works for a bit, yeah.
yeah, every time you fake something or do something very unnatural, it's very short lifespan.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
What is the content you would never, never, never recommend to put on LinkedIn? Like, never.
I think it's
Outside of
probably what we
porn.
were saying earlier. Very personal stuff that have nothing to do with what you want to communicate. Like it's a professional network. Why would you want to share a photo that you just got married? Or, 10 marketing lessons I learned out of that.
I
Like to an
actually,
extent, it helps your personality in a sense of like, I'm not just posting about my work, here's what I did. But sometimes, as you said, it was your reaction. Seeing posts that are too personal, you're like, why are you sharing it? What
yeah,
do
I
I
usually
see
unfollow
that?
because I'm thinking, I don't want to know that much about you.
Or
Or,
if you're posting a lot with things that like don't make sense and you're just trying to get engagement or like grab interest in a way that it's just becoming annoying.
exactly. I like to follow people that do something in marketing and iGaming, as I said. So if I follow a marketer and this person start to post every day about mental health, I have nothing against mental health. But if that becomes the channel about that, I don't want to follow that. I mean, it's just it's one of the topics that really irritate me. It's mental health. Like if it's one of many posts is good, but if that becomes
I
your
think balance in
main
general
agenda,
is good in a sense of like there are different things that we can talk about. But if you talk about one thing all the time, then it feels repetitive. Like people won't engage with that because they're like, you're only talking about one thing.
yeah. And how else can we use it? I mean, we use it for the followers and feel good moment. That's definitely, I love that. I love the community there as well. And I met
Yeah.
lots of good people through it. And I met people that we knew we're going to the same conference. We sent each other message on LinkedIn. We're friends ever since. It's like, it's
Yeah, yeah,
fantastic to
yeah.
meet great people. As well to find new conferences for me because I love conferences. And find new job opportunities, find people to follow on marketing and SEO. That's my go-to place. But what else can we use it for? Is there anything hidden on LinkedIn that we maybe are not using fully, and there is this feature or this service of LinkedIn that can help us very much in any sense?
I think what's useful and it's really growing on LinkedIn is the idea of thought leadership. So whether you're working on your own or as part of a company, being able to share your expertise, and you don't have to be like, a senior leader, like everyone has some sort of perspective. Being able to share that on a professional platform is really good if you think of like building your career. So it can help if you work for a company, it helps the current company, but you also become more strategic on like how you position yourself for future opportunities. So it's like having the CV is one thing when you want to apply for a job, but nowadays being able to be consistent with like talking to so many people to such a professional database is really great because it's not just a short run. You're trying to become more strategic with how you're seen online. And as you said, it can be new opportunities for conferences. It can be a partnership or networking opportunity, a collaboration. Could be a new job. Someone approaches you because they're like, I feel like you're really good at this, and I would love you to consider this position.
That's true. That actually happens a lot. But as well, it happens to me when I have someone that applies for a position. I go through their LinkedIn and see if they
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah, of
if
course.
they just created a LinkedIn, and as well I check for the discrepancies in their CV to LinkedIn. And you don't even need to have a call with anyone else just on
Yeah,
LinkedIn to
exactly,
see, are
exactly.
they active? Are they known in the field? Do they share? Are they interested in what they do? Because especially in SEO, if you are not interested in SEO, you're not going to be a good SEO. It changes like
Yeah,
this.
of
You know,
course,
one
of
day
course.
this works, and next day you have got completely new search engine out there. So that is very good point. Is there any other platform similar to LinkedIn, something that is concentrated on job and is growing right now?
I wouldn't say there's a platform that is similar. I feel like that's probably the biggest advantage for LinkedIn. They were consistent through the years because obviously it's not a new channel, but they always had very clear positioning. The main point through the years was about finding a job or hiring others. So now they expanded it more in the idea of like personal brand and thought leadership. But the end goal always was about making sure that you like position yourself and you highlight your expertise. So on that front, it's probably unique. But obviously, you can also do that if you want on other channels like TikTok, is very engaging. You do it in a different way, but you can still attract opportunities. Or obviously, YouTube, similar if you want to share videos, or Instagram for others work really well. So the end goal could be the same on other platforms, but I think the power of LinkedIn is the networking part. What we said, you can just use the database and find anyone from a specific company, any like job that you wanted to attract, any position. It's all just in one place.
And it's as well trusted because most of the serious people have their
Mm.
real name there. There is now
Yeah, true, true.
verification.
Good point.
So you are actually verified, which doesn't work for me. I tried every single
Yeah,
one they have out there. They just, nothing is recognized. I'm not verified, but not because I'm not real. But you have this, and on all the other ones, TikTok or you can be anyone. You can
it's
have a
easy, yeah, to
surname
be
any.
someone else. Yeah, that's true.
Exactly. I would never use my real name on LinkedIn or my full name on Facebook. Yes, after those, I
That's a
still
good
use
point.
Facebook. But I would just like never use that because I don't want people to search. And my real picture there would be my cat. I would never use my real face, or
Yeah,
maybe
yeah, yeah,
very
of
rarely.
course.
So, and if someone tagged me in a picture, I always untag because I don't want to be known on those. But on LinkedIn, I don't mind because that's the place I want to be visible.
Yeah,
So
you
I
feel
think
more
that's,
comfortable on that front to
yeah.
use your name and like your expertise, your experience as a CV.
Anything else we have forgotten about LinkedIn, or anything else that you know it's coming with LinkedIn and we don't know yet?
Something that is interesting lately, I hear more people interested in creating newsletters on LinkedIn, which is
Yes.
another way to create more content. And I think the good thing on that front, obviously, we're not saying you should stop using your email newsletter database, but it's another touch point from like being on a social platform up until you're ready to get into like an email subscription. So it's also good because you get a notification on your email. So if you subscribe to someone's newsletter, you see it online on the channel, but you also get a notification on your email. So it can be very powerful for a company and also for individuals building your personal brand because you can share long form content, you can add more links, which is not always recommended on actual posts on LinkedIn. And it's a great opportunity if you want to be more serious with your brand as a person or a company.
Fantastic. I actually like newsletters because you have them there and you can just go back.
Mm,
Because sometimes
yeah,
on LinkedIn
exactly,
or any
exactly.
other of this platform, you want to read something, you click somewhere for a second and then you don't find it. In
Yes,
newsletters, you
yes.
do so. Do you have
And you
your
get a
personal?
summary of all the posts.
Exactly. Do you have your own newsletter we can subscribe to yet?
Yes, I created one a few months ago, more as a test. And it's fun. As you said, you spend more time. You can like find different links from other people to share or interesting posts. And it's not surprising. I'm talking about marketing. And I decided to create a twist, something that I enjoy. I decided to link it to like retro tech internet.
Mm.
So the other day I was reading about ICQ. Remember the messenger
Yeah,
from
very.
back in the day?
Yes, I
Yeah.
know it existed. Yes.
Yes, so this used to exist for like decades and it stopped officially existing last month. So it was like an opportunity to tap into like nostalgia, but also cover latest marketing news.
That's fantastic. Maybe we can link your newsletter in the
Oh
description
yeah, of
below, so
course.
we
Yeah,
can
feel
all.
free to join.
Fantastic. Please send it to me in our
Yes, sounds
chat
good.
On LinkedIn, you hear
Of
people
course, that's
LinkedIn.
what we
That's
said.
where we
Yeah.
talk, and then I'll put it on a description here so people can find that. That is
Sounds
fantastic.
good.
But you are all about authenticity because I remember your talk last year as well was about creating AI content and you need to stay human and how to
Yes.
make sure that in this era of AI and AI content, you stay human and there is always human touch. And you called it, you said, AI content is not going to work long term. Now,
Yes, yes,
careful,
yes,
but Google
exactly.
is going to clap down on it. You need to be human. Oh my goodness, with the March update, I called your name so many times. I was like, she was so right. I see this. So you were absolutely right. So any
Always
golden,
works as a tip.
exactly. Any golden predictions this time? Because I'm sure they will come true. Anything you want to share that you think, watch out for this, LinkedIn will do in 1 year time? Because it's like you have a crystal ball.
I think it's pretty similar to what you said. We talked about tactics like buying followers or just trying to like fake your growth. These things just only work on the short term. If you want to focus on long-term growth, visibility, is going again back into authenticity and being consistent. Like it's not going to work with one post on LinkedIn to instantly get 10,000 followers. But if you decide to post once a week for 6 months, then you will see the difference. So it's trying to be a little bit patient on that front, not just buying followers, waiting for like sudden change.
That is very similar with SEO. You need to be constant.
Yeah, of course, that's true.
But it's marketing. You need to be patient because nothing works like that, and you need to be consistent.
Of course.
Good. So main takeaways from this one: consistency, authenticity. I mean, you are all about that. And come to see us in October in Brighton and talk to us more.
Yes, of course.
I cannot
We'll talk
wait
more
for
about
your
LinkedIn.
talk. I cannot wait for your talk. I'm very happy we are not talking at the same time. That was a big concern.
We can check each other, yes,
we
of
can
course.
check each other. See you there. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much. Thanks.